Hey there, it's Maturity Hour once again. We've covered a lot of the main colors already for our limited set review. So we're going to go ahead and continue on with green. But of course, once again, this is more or less a pre-release primer where we are assigning letter grades to a lot of the commons and uncommons for Rivals of Ixalan. So let's just dive right into this and continue on. First up, we have Crested Herd Collar. This is a 5 CMC, 2 green and 3 colorless. It's a dinosaur, a 3/3 with trample. And when it enters the battlefield, you create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. I think this is okay for a 5-drop. You're paying 5 and you're getting a collective 6 toughness, and they both have trample. I think that's actually pretty good.
I'm gonna get this an A.
Yeah.
I actually love this card.
This is like it is really good. It's like a less good Regisaur Alpha, but it is much more common than that. I'll pick this every time I see it. Is this the first pick for you, Desmond?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually really like this card a lot.
Okay.
You're getting so much value out of it. Yeah, you're not getting a 5/5 for 5. You're getting 2 3/3s, and in some cases that can be more beneficial. More bodies better.
It can probably help you get Ascend too.
It can help you get Ascend. It can help you with the Forerunner triggers, stuff like that.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with A- just because it has double green.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so moving on, we have Cacophodon. That's hard to pronounce. It's a 4 mana, 1 green and 3 colorless dinosaur. It's a 2/5. Pretty decent body for 4. Its enraged trigger is whenever it's dealt damage, untap target permanent. Okay, so this can help you with paying for things. Mm-hmm. This can help you get out one of the larger dinosaurs too.
Yep. It can also basically make one of your creatures vigilant. You're swinging in. They choose to block this, or if you have some sort of rile trigger, you're going to be able to untap a creature if that's more important, depending on the situation.
If you do want to use it as like a land, like mana pool kind of a trick, just be mindful that just pay attention to the order in which that you actually do enrage this like creature, because remember that your mana does not carry over between phases.
Absolutely.
Think of this as but also like if you didn't want to use this as some sort of mana dork, you could think of it as a 2/5 with vigilance, but better, because you can just untap it at any time if they have an ability, if they have that enchantment that taps creatures and they don't untap on your untap step, and you have this out on the board, waste of an enchantment. It's a good card.
You have a lot of options with this card because you can swing with it and hope that they block and get to untap something or untap it, or you can just leave it up and it might deter them from attacking you, or if they do attack you with a bunch of creatures, you at least get to block one thing and untap something else, which can be important depending on the situation.
So you should be swinging with this.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes, that's the thing, you have the option, so if you do leave it open, you have a 2/5 to block with as well. So, because they're not going to always block it when you do swing with it, so you're not always going to get it untapped again. Unless you have some sort of rile trigger waiting for the next phase.
I'm leaning towards B+ or A-.
I'll give it a B+. Yeah.
I mean, 4 mana for a 2/5 is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to Cherished Hatchling.
I love this card.
So this is a 2 CMC. It's a piker. 1 green and 1 colorless will pay for it. It's a dinosaur, and when it dies, you may cast dinosaur spells this turn as though they had flash. And whenever you cast a dinosaur spell this turn, it gains when this creature enters the battlefield. You may have it fight another target creature. This is pretty damn interesting.
It's a scary creature. It's going to deter people from attacking you if you leave it open. It's going to deter people from from blocking if you swing with it, because they have no idea what's in your hand unless they do.
Well, you're going to have to make sure that you leave mana up to cast the creatures in your hand. But I always want this on the board.
I wouldn't play it on turn 2 though.
Yeah, it probably is not a turn 2 play.
No.
Yeah. I like the flavor of it too. It's like, don't kill my babies. You know what I mean? Like it's the flavor text and its mechanic is really well designed. So kudos to Wizards R&D. I think you really knocked it out of the park with this card. You knocked it out of the Jurassic Park.
Oh.
B.
Yeah, solid B. It's also very situational. So, yeah, no more than a B and no less because it's a decent card on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right, so next up we have Enter the Unknown. And it's a sorcery for 1 green. Target creature you control explores, and you may play an additional land this turn. I think this is really good.
Yeah, honestly, I was super surprised when Ixalan got spoiled and Explore was a mechanic. I'm like, how is this not a card? So obviously they're just saving it for the next set, but
Yeah,
I think it's a fantastic card.
this is replacing a tune with Aether in terms of standard too, eh? Like it's gonna take a while, but this is gonna stay in rotation. You know what I mean? Like this is
Once the tune's gone, then this is definitely the better, or I mean, the best option to go with. A tune is still great because you are searching your deck. You're getting to thin it out a little bit, and energy is still relevant. There's a lot of cards in standard using energy. So with this, you either need to reveal a land or just have lands in your hand to really pay off with this card. So
I would say this is good for merfolk and dinosaurs.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I give it a B minus.
I'm gonna probably give it a solid B, just because of like you're totally right that you need a hand that has a lot of lands, but I just think this is like good in a number of different ways.
I'm gonna give this a B plus. When you play this, you're trying to ramp, and there's a good chance you're playing it early enough that you still have a lot of lands in your hand. You get a turn 1 creature down, or even a turn 2 creature down. There's a good chance that you have two more lands in your hand by turn 3, especially by turn 2. So I think that this is just an excellent way to ramp, especially if you're playing dinosaurs. I'll give it a B. I might even give it a B plus.
Right on. Next up, we have Swift Warden. This is a 3 CMC Merfolk Warrior, double green and 1 colorless in its casting cost. It's a 3/3 with flash. When it enters the battlefield, target Merfolk you control gains hexproof until end of turn. So this is good if your opponent thinks that you're on the back foot, and this is basically you will want to play this if your opponent tries to outright remove one of your creatures or even like bounce it with a blue spell. So
It's also pretty much an ambush viper, right? Like you can block with it. It's got flash, so it can come in. It can block something that they're hoping to get through.
yeah,
Especially if your board is open, like you just boom, you got a 3/3 on the field. Of course, it shines when there's another creature on the battlefield. But I think on its own, being a 3/3 of flash for 3 is
Yeah.
really strong.
so probably a B to a B plus.
I'm leaning towards B plus.
Would you
I
play
like
this in a dino deck, Desmond?
it. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, because its ability only really benefits merfolks.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
That's okay. Yeah.
I love this card. This card.
This is Thrashing Brontodon. This is a 3 mana, double green and 1 colorless. It's a 3/4 dinosaur. You can pay 1 colorless and sacrifice it to destroy target artifact or enchantment.
3/4 for 3. Amazing by itself. And then its ability is just great utility. Yeah. I will always pick this whenever I see it.
It's definitely main deckable.
It is.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if it's pack 1 pick 1. It might be. It's almost a bomb in my opinion. 3/4 for 3 is great, and his ability just gives it great utility. The only downside I see here is the double green mana cost.
Honestly, I'm going to give it an A minus, just because it's got 2 green. If it didn't have the 2 green, I'd give it an A, like a solid A. It's actually a great utility card.
Pack 1 pick 1.
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah, yeah. It's actually not that bad. Like a 3/4 body is very very good, very very good to have early on. So, yeah,
Probably B plus for me.
B plus, yeah.
A
I'm gonna
minus.
stick with the A minus. I really like this card.
Right on. So next up we have Thunderherd Migration. This is a sorcery for 2 mana. It's a 1 green, 1 colorless. As an additional cost to cast Thunderherd Migration, reveal a dinosaur card from your hand or pay 1. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. So this is great for ramp. This is one of the cards that's going to enable you to cast a lot of your larger dinosaurs faster. So
This
probably a B for me.
this is a strictly worse rampant growth, but most likely you're just gonna want to play this in dinosaurs anyways, because most of the merfolk are pretty cheap to cast. So it has a great spot in limited and possibly in standard. If dinosaurs actually become prevalent in standard, then this is a great card to have. So I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
If the stars align, you have one of those 1-drops in your hand. I could see you easily playing 3 lands in 1 turn with this.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, I didn't consider that, but you're absolutely right.
So I'm gonna give it a B.
I give it a B.
All right, moving on. We got Strength of the Pack. This is a 6 mana sorcery, double green and 4 colorless in its casting cost. You're going to put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control with this sorcery. Wow.
Oh my god.
That's pretty spectacular. You could even play this in Merfolk if you were so inclined. It's a little expensive for 6 mana. That's the only thing that's a little annoying about this card, I'd say, and that's what's really preventing it from. But I would consider this to be a bomb under the right conditions. But I think it's still maybe meant for dinosaurs just because of all the ramp spells that we were just looking at, especially with like Thunderherd Migration, which is what we just kind of like rated. It's probably still going to be hard to get to like 6 mana.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this card, only because of the 6 mana. By that point, maybe you only have 1 or 2 creatures on the field after all the combat's been dealt, all the removal and stuff. So it ends up probably not being too worth because you're spending so much mana to do it. I'd rather not keep it in my deck. I'd rather just put something else in there that's gonna either help me ramp up, save me, just anything else about this card. To be honest, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I think it's just simply too expensive. So probably D minus.
Yeah. I'll give it a D. Because like again, under the right circumstances, yes, but most part, yeah.
Yeah, it's a D or D plus for me. I'm gonna lose to this. It's gonna feel bad, but I don't think I'm ever gonna play it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Forerunner of the Herald. So this is the Merfolk Forerunner. This is a 4 cost as well. 1 green and 3 colorless. It's a Merfolk Scout. It has a 3/2 body. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a Merfolk, reveal it, and so it once again it tutors for a Merfolk. Whenever another Merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1. No, it's put a +1/+1 counter on Forerunner of the Heralds. It's not a May ability. This is not that bad, especially if you manage to like open Kopala in your regular Ixalan packs. Yeah, what do you guys think?
2 power. This dies to a lot of removal. 2 toughness.
It dies.
It's meant to grow though.
Yeah, I do like that you can either fetch for one of your legendary Merfolk or even just the Lord that's in the set. Being able to get that out is going to help you. Even if this thing dies, if you're able to get your Lord for sure, and you have a lot of Merfolk in your deck, then it's worth the 4 mana.
C plus, B minus.
I'll give it a B minus.
B minus here as well.
Yeah. No matter what tribe you're going into, you probably want at least 1 Forerunner from the tribe. I think that's a pretty healthy thing to want when it comes to deck building in limited.
Absolutely.
Right on. So next up, we have another reprint from the beginning of this block, Colossal Dreadmaw. It's a 6 mana, 6/6 trample. I'm not going to be too happy to like to play this. I think, like, it all depends on how many dinosaur discount enablers you have, I guess. But there are better dinosaurs to play.
There are better dinosaurs, but a 6/6 trample is great to have. In limited, it's gonna be hard to deal with it.
It might even be like a good top end to a Merfolk deck, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's expensive, but by the time 6 mana rolls around, you're going to want to be playing something like that.
What would you rate this as?
I'll give it a C+ to B-.
C+ here. There are better dinosaurs, but late pick for me. Late pick.
Right on. Moving on to Orazka Frillback. This is a 3 mana, 1 green and 2 colorless dinosaur. It's a 4/2.
I don't like it.
Vanilla.
I don't like it at all.
What an ugly creature.
Two toughness dives to too much.
True enough.
If it was a 4/3, maybe, but no.
Even if it was like a 3/3 or 2/4.
So, what do you guys say? Like, probably just a flat C?
I'm going to give it a D. I don't think I ever want to play this.
Yeah, D here as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Moving on to Jungleborn Pioneer. This is a 3 mana merfolk. It's 1 green and 2 colorless. It's a 2/2 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, you're going to get one of those 1/1 blue hexproof merfolk tokens.
I actually like this card. You're playing a merfolk and you're getting a merfolk.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So this combos well with some of the other merfolks that are printed in rare right now.
Don't forget about Ascend.
True enough. It definitely helps with that.
And combos well with Deep Root Waters. You're getting 2 tokens effectively.
So this can help you sort of race to get that Blessing of the City.
Wait, wouldn't you get... Okay, so Deep Root Waters, right?
It's on cast.
It's on cast.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not ETB. Okay, sorry. A little fuzzy remembering that card there.
I would rate this as probably B- to a B.
B here.
Yeah, I'll give it a B-. It's not amazing, but it's something I'd play.
Next up, we have Jadecraft Artisan. This is a 4 mana, 1 green and 3 colorless. It's a Merfolk Shaman. When Jadecraft Artisan enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It's a 3/3 for 4. Buffs another creature you have.
Yeah, these cards are sometimes overlooked. They're actually really great cards. Being able to just get something +2/+2 for 4 mana and get a 3/3 body, that's really strong.
I think that's really good value for 4 mana. And this doesn't have to target a merfolk. You can give the actual buff to one of your dinosaurs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say you can play this in a dinosaur deck for sure.
Yeah, pretty good card. I think I'm going to give this B+.
I don't know. Would it be better to just play it, a 3/3 for 3, and then have a 1 mana combat trick in your deck that gives +2? I guess beggars can't be choosers, but there might be better options to give your creatures that. I'm going to give it a C+.
Honestly, there's been other limited formats that had cards like this, and that +2/+2 trigger is super, super useful. Even giving like a 1/1 just +2/+2 and being able to swing, it's just additional damage. Being able to target a trample creature with it's especially useful. Or a flyer even. Like a flyer, it really hurts.
Dino pleb like me hasn't played many other formats, so I'll take your word for it, and I'll give it a try.
Next up, we have Jade Bearer. This is a 1 green Merfolk Shaman. It's a 1/1 for 1. When it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on another target Merfolk you control.
This one is really strong. I like this card a lot.
Yeah, this is great synergy.
It's not a turn 1 play.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of synergy.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to... You can't play this... Well, you can, but it's not wise to play this on turn 1 because it can't target itself for the counter. So always play this on turn 2 or 3 or 4, that kind of a thing. It's
just make sure you have a creature out first, that's all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like as long as you have another creature, it doesn't matter what turn you're playing this.
Yeah.
It's 1 mana, it's a 1/1, but it's a great card to keep playing at some point.
I'm going to rate this as probably just a straight B.
Yeah, I'll give it a B.
Next up, we have Overgrown Armasaur. It's a 5 mana, double green, and 3 colorless. It's a 4/4 for 5. Whenever it's dealt damage, you get a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. If only it was 1/1 dinosaurs, but it's still good.
There's some Sapperling support in this set. I forget what the other card that I think it is a rare green card that also creates Sapperlings. It's not an enraged thing, but
I guess this is like tech to get City's Blessing.
This is going to make a lot of sapperlings. Like, it's a 4/4 body. So if you're triggering it with a Ryle or even just blocking with it, you're going to make 1/1s. And 1/1s are nothing to mess with. Like, if you end up getting a lot of them, they're hard to deal with.
Yeah, because of the obviously like multi-blocking as like a standard mechanic in this game that should never be forgotten about. So, and those are even good for chump blocking too.
Absolutely.
You don't have to necessarily gang up and destroy large creatures. You can just get rid of one and just stall your opponent out.
I wouldn't chump block with the 1/1s with this bad boy on the board. This guy would do all my blocking for me just to make more of them. I would rate him, a solid B. I wouldn't first pick him, but on curve he's pretty good.
Right on. So C+.
I'm gonna give it a B. I really like this card.
Right on. Moving on, we have once again a reprint from the Zendikar stuff. This is Plummet. It's a 1 green, 1 colorless instant. It's just an outright destroy target creature with flying. This is a sideboard card. I wouldn't put this in your main deck. This is just if your opponent has a lot of creatures and you go to game 2. This is where you'd, obviously side it in and hope to draw it and use it effectively. So probably C.
Yeah, just a C.
Moving on, we have Hunt the Weak, another reprint from the Kaladesh block. This is a 4 mana sorcery speed, 1 green and 3 colorless. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and then that creature fights target creature you don't control.
It's just a worse
Savage Stomp.
Savage Stomp, yeah.
Yeah, like I was talking to Mike about this earlier, that you would still want to play this if you were going heavily into Merfolk. I mean, yeah, sure, Savage Stomp is like it's 3 mana if it's not targeting a dinosaur, and it's also 1 mana if you are targeting a dinosaur with that stomp. But mind you that both Savage Stomp and Hunt the Weak are sorcery speed. This is still good if you this is something that you would want to include in a Merfolk deck. I honestly think.
Yeah, absolutely. It also has a place in your deck for dinosaurs as well.
Yeah.
I would definitely play Savage Stomp over it if I had the choice, but you're not always
course.
gonna have the choice, right? So
Yeah.
if you don't, then Hunt the Weak is a phenomenal card to have.
Good for Enrage.
Yeah, it's just a rarity thing. You're going to have... I honestly feel that Savage Stomp sort of reminds me of... what was that one? Like, yeah, sort of like Fatal Push, right? Like, sure, Savage Stomp is printed at uncommon, but those are far and few. I don't see a lot of those being opened. It's like very, very hard to actually get those. But yeah, so Hunt the Weak, basically like non-creature spell filler. It's a little on the expensive side, but it's still a good card. So probably C+ to B- for me.
Yeah, give it a B-. I do like it.
Next up, we have Knight of the Stampede. This is a 4 mana, 1 green and 3 colorless human knight. It's a 2/4, and dinosaur spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Wow. I think it's a must-have if you're going dinosaurs and you do manage to get this.
No, absolutely. I would never pass up this card if I had picked a couple dinosaurs. At that point, I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking this card.
Solid mid-pack pick if you're going dinosaurs.
It's like 4 mana for 4 toughness. It's I think it's phenomenal. B+ for me.
Yeah, I give it a B. Only because you have to be certain you're going dinosaurs, right? Like, it's a 2/4 for 4 mana. So you're already like midway there. You can already play a lot of your dinosaurs as it is. So if you have really big dinosaurs, I love this card. If you have 4 or 5 mana cost dinosaurs, this card isn't as nearly as important.
Yeah, especially because like when you get to that point, you might be running out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like
You're gonna want it, you're gonna want this card if you have any of the primals.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is a must-have if you have a primal. Otherwise, most dinosaurs most dinosaurs are between 4 and 5 mana.
next up we have Hardy Veteran. This is a 2 mana, 1 green, 1 colorless, 2/2 human warrior. As long as it's your turn, Hardy Veteran gets +0/+2. So on your turn, this is a card that you want to like swing in and attack with, because it will benefit and effectively be a 2/4 creature on your turn. I don't know how that this synergizes with dinosaurs, but
I don't like the card at all.
yeah, like it just doesn't really fit any green themes for me.
If it had a raid trigger, like if it was a pirate,
Yeah,
it would be really good.
This feels very white. I'm weirded out by this card being in green.
yeah. So it's just deck filler.
Yeah.
To benefit your curve, I guess.
C- for me.
Yeah,
Bear with an upside. I'll give it a C+.
yeah, I'm leaning towards C or C plus as well.
Yeah, I'll give it a C+.
Next up, we have Gilt Grove Stalker. This is a 2 mana, 1 green, 1 colorless Merfolk Warrior. It's a piker. It's a 2/1. It's Gilt Grove Stalker can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So this is like it's an evasive Merfolk, but I feel like there are better ones.
There are better ones. However, at least you don't feel so bad when this thing dies, right? Because a 1/1 isn't going to kill it.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad early game. It's not something I pick early on either, but it's decent deck filler.
C.
Yeah, I give it a C.
C.
Next up, we have Aggressive Urge. It's a 2 mana, 1 green, 1 colorless instant. It's a combat trick and it's a cantrip. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and you draw a card. I feel like there are better combat tricks, but if you're going into Merfolk, I wouldn't feel bad about playing this, but I just think there are better cards in blue and green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nothing to write home about, but it's a decent card if you need to shove some non-creature spells in there.
C for me.
Probably C plus for me.
Yeah, give it a C+.
Just because of card draw
Exactly.
and instant speed. Moving on, we have another reprint, another old standby, Naturalize. It's an instant speed, 1 green, 1 blue, destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Oh, no blue.
Oh, what did I say? Oh, it's 1 green, 1 colorless. My bad. Yeah. So this is once again sideboard tech. If your opponent has some nasty artifacts or enchantments, this is when you're going to want to side it in to trip them up and either remove one of those special kind of flip legendary enchantments, or even a legendary artifact, or any one of those arrest style enchantments on your own creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fantastic sideboard card.
Yeah, so C plus.
C+.
C plus.
Yeah, so that concludes green. So we're gonna come back with colorless really soon. All right, take care, guys. Like and subscribe. Thanks.